Welcome to the episode of the Popcorn People Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. I am joined by my co-host here, Mr. Dom Fisher. How are you today, sir?
Boom. I'm good. I'm chilling. Tomorrow's Monday, so none of us are happy about that. But if we can provide you with a little break, a little monotonous break from thinking about tomorrow, that's what we're here for. A popcorn people, where we just love film.
Exactly. I'm excited. We've got a few, actually, I'm a little bit envious and jealous of some people that are currently getting ready to be seated at the Los Angeles premiere of Barbie.
I know.
I'm kind of mad I didn't get a chance to buy my, as film critics, let me prefix by saying this, as film critics, we do get invited to screeners early. We are very grateful and appreciative of that, but there's often times where we have to buy tickets, which neither one of us have ever had an issue with, and nobody else should either, because that's just kind of what the film critics should do. Now, that being said, we're not going to get a screener. I did not get a chance to get any of the early screening tickets to Barbie on Wednesday. And I tried to buy tickets to the one at the AMC in Franklin and Regal Opera Mills, and the only ones available are in the front two rows. And I'm just not trying to enjoy Barbie like that. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to enjoy Barbie like that. So that being said, I will be seeing Barbie on Thursday. I'm super excited. Well, not next Thursday, obviously, because we're not that cool. But Thursday. But that'll be the following week's show, July 23rd. We are seeing Oppenheimer on the 18th. Very, very, very interested.
Hey, that bodes well for Barbie. They already know that the hype is big. It's very big.
Yeah. So with the premiere being in LA today, social media reactions are able to go up tonight for everybody that has seen it. You'll be able to see those social media reactions tonight. I think it starts at 4 or 5. No, I think it's like 7 o'clock Pacific time. So you're talking 2-hour movie. So it'll be about midnight. So most of us will be in bed while the Barbie reactions come in. So, and to be honest with you guys, I don't expect very many bad things to be said about it.
Right.
So that being said, we have a loaded show for you guys tonight. We are going to talk about the brand new film, the trailer for, I'm trying to get Bob Marley, One Love. We're going to talk about that trailer today. We're going to talk about a little news of the week is going to be talking about breaking down some of the recent news about Jonathan Majors. Our movie review of the week is going to be a film that Dom and I saw on Thursday together, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And of course, we'll give our watch recommendations, but we're going to end it with a little fun like we did last week. Last week, we did our top 5 burgers. This week, we're going to do top 5 fast food chicken sandwiches. And you know what? I went a little bit harder on this one than I did the burger. I was like, man, I spent a lot more. I think I spent more time on the ranking my chicken sandwiches than I did thinking about the movie review, the news of the week, or even this trailer.
Because the chicken is more controversial, man. Everybody has an opinion, and I know mine's gonna be controversial because one of the most popular is not on my list. So stay tuned for that.
You heard that Chick-fil-A? It's not on there. I can already buy it. You know what? Look, he didn't deny it. Let's go ahead and cancel him already. Looking for a new. No, I'm just kidding. All right. But that being said, we'll transition into our first segment of the week, trailer of the week. As I mentioned, Bob Marley, One Love, the first trailer of it released. Since the new guidelines aren't in place yet for the Oscars that we talked about in episode 1, this film is planning a limited release in December, but it's not officially, quote unquote, coming out until January 12th of 2024. But the film is supposed to look at the life of Bob Marley. Kingsley Ben-Adir is starring as Bob Marley, Lashana Lynch as Rita Marley. Of course, Ronaldo Marcus Green is directing the film, who co-wrote the film with Zach Balin and Terrence Winter and Frank E. Flowers. Dom, what was your initial thoughts of the trailer?
Oh, man. See, this is the type of story they're doing. It's exactly the kind of story that I want them to do. It's not just about the music, because he was, it was a modern day like revolutionary without having to have that kind of persona. There was the music telling the truth of what's going on in front of him. And it kind of gives me the same vibes as like a Judas and the Black Messiah vibes. And Kingsley's great. I mean, we see him right now in Secret Invasion, and that dude is he's special right now. And I love Lashana Lynch, everything she's done. But no, yeah, this film it looks like it's gonna be very promising, and I'm very curious how the Marley family feels about it, because he does have a lot of children who are, some are our age, some are a lot older. But I want to know like how they're if they had any input, if they signed off on it, because it's a huge legacy, and if it's not done right, it's gonna be a lot of issues.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because you think, thinking of Kingsley Ben-Adir. I mean, obviously, he really kind of broke onto the world when he was in playing when he played Malcolm X and One Night in Miami was fantastic. And that
Yeah,
it's crazy to look at his. This is the third historical figure he'll play. First one was Malcolm X and One Night in Miami. The comedy role on Showtime, he played Barack Obama, and
yep,
now with this, he's playing Bob Marley. He's a fantastic actor, just period. You know what I mean? I am
yeah,
interesting. Bob Marley is it's so much more than just music with Bob Marley. And it's going to be fascinating. Like you said, I do feel like this story can be really told in a fantastic way. Like this has a vibe from the trailer alone to be something special. You know what I mean? Now, we've seen biopics fall flat in their face,
yeah.
and we've seen biopics hit home runs. So it's definitely an interesting figure to tackle. I do think that Ronaldo Marcus Green, who recently did King Richard, and of course he did the HBO series We Own the City. We Own the City recently. He's a fantastic director. You know what I mean? So he's very good at what he does. Zach Balin being on the writing team, very excited about that. It feels like he has his hands on everything.
Yeah.
Zach Balin has written, if you name it, like, he had a helping hand in Creed 3. He worked with Green on King Richard. I mean, he's done a lot. You know what I mean? Like his hand, I feel like his hand is in a lot of different places when it comes to writing. So he's somebody to keep an eye out consistently for. But I'm interested to see what this turns out to be, because again, it's either going to fall in line. What is it going to be? Is it going to be a Judy? Is it going to
Right.
be what's the Billy the Billie Holiday movie that was not
Yeah.
very good? God, man, there's been a couple bad ones. Or is it going to be great?
Because yeah, I think they know now that the days of the straightforward beginning to end biopic are over. You have to
Yeah.
find an angle and give us something that we can't Google, that we don't know the full details to, and that's what made stuff like Elvis so good. It wasn't your straightforward biopic. And I mean, hell, even with like even though it's an origin story, not a biopic, but that's what made the Flash. That's what kind of gave it its pizzazz, because it was an origin story without being a straightforward origin story. So
Yeah.
if they are able to find an angle and give us the beginning, but not at the beginning of the life, you know what I mean? Then I think they'll be able to win us over.
Totally agree. Let's transition over to the.
All right, the news of the week. So this is a story that has been the talk or the whispers since about March. We all know Jonathan Majors was making big headlines with his great roles and his terrific acting, but then he had the headlines that no one wants to see themselves in, and it's in domestic assault, aggravated assault. I'm not really sure how they're categorizing it, but there was an article on Variety that laid it out, and now we have an updated article from Rolling Stone, and we're getting word from classmates at Yale, people on set, that paints him in a certain light, and it's not necessarily a great light. The allegations are that I believe the woman's name that he was with hasn't been released. People do know the name. I'm not going to say it because I can't confirm or deny whether it's her or not, but she had a laceration on her neck behind her ear, and I think she was from being struck. And we know that something. Her statement might have been recanted, and then Jonathan's team came out and said everything is false. So we're just gonna give it to you straight down the middle without kind of our opinion on it because we don't know. It is a he say she say, and at some point you have to kind of believe and not believe both parties because we don't have the information yet. But his from this article, they interviewed over 40 people, and he got painted as a manipulator in some ways, as aggressive, as a method actor, but his method could have gone too far at times. And then there is some where it just seems like maybe you call him on a bad day and that's your interaction with that person. So you can take some of it with a grain of salt, but some of them you do have to take seriously. What were your thoughts about the article?
So this is what I have to say. One of the things that tends to happen when your favorite celebrity gets allegations put against them, right? People get into the rush of defending them without having empathy for the victims, right?
Right.
I am very much in the conversation of innocent until proven guilty. I feel like that has been lost in society as a whole.
Yeah.
It's a throw it out there, and if it sticks, even if it doesn't, for instance, you take a look at the Buffalo Bills punter. I don't remember his name, Matt Ariza or something like that. Got accused of rape and then got thrown off the football team. Almost a year and a half later, it was proven that he wasn't even there.
Right.
And then now his entire life, again, the thing about it is you can sit here and say, oh, well, I believe in Jonathan Majors because I believe in innocent until proven guilty. But you cannot refuse the empathy for the individuals who spoke up against him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the old adage, it's when you see smoke, there's fire. The
Right.
situation does not look great. I don't, and as Dom said, we're not here to say one way or another whether we believe we believe Jonathan Majors or whether we believe the victims. I'm here to say it's hard. You know what I mean? As somebody that I'm a huge Jonathan Majors fan of the actor, right? Creed 3, incredible. Ant-Man, I really enjoyed him in King. There's a movie called Magazine Dreams that came out at the Sundance Film Festival that I believe is one of the greatest performances I've seen in my life. And that is 1000% overshadowed by these allegations.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is you have to carefully talk about it because there are victims and it is hard speaking up. It is. And there's a reason why people don't speak up, because if you go to the internet, you see people make these just selfish claims. This is spotty journalism. We don't know.
Right.
I wasn't there.
Right.
Like their Rolling Stones article is speaking to people of that were there, right? You know what I mean? Again, I'm never saying nobody's ever made up a story. I'm not saying that. But these are talking to 40 different individuals that were there and are making these accusations. And that's exactly what they are. They're accusations. They're not one way or another. But at the end of the day, I think the one thing that I'm concerned about the most is this. If for some reason, Jonathan Majors, if it's proven that he is innocent, it doesn't mean these 40 other people are lying. You know what I mean? Like we've seen that blurred line because of the public trials that we've seen over the last few years, especially with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation, like that being so public, it's spitting out into other people. Just because you love Jonathan Majors does not mean he is not a terrible person.
Yep.
And again, I'm not saying he is, but just because you love him and want to see him be Kang in the next 45 Marvel movies does not mean he's not there. You would be surprised at how many people are really pieces of garbage that might be your favorite stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's that. I think people forget that human beings are complex. So he can present as the greatest person in the world, and behind closed doors, because I mean, even I believe one of his relationships the woman had to sign an NDA and can't say anything. So it's like that seems suspicious. Now we don't know what it was for. Maybe she saw something, maybe she saw a script, maybe whatever, but it just doesn't look the best. And like I said, people are complex. So she could also, like, we've seen stories where the girl goes, I know I can get you in trouble, so I can say this and then feel bad afterwards, but the damage has been done. But like we said, we don't know for sure. I think the trial begins in August, I think.
Yeah.
And if Jonathan's team is correct and they have all this proof, maybe he'll get off. But again, like you said, there's all these other people, and it's hard to say that 40 people are completely lying. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe a few exaggerated because they want to be part of the story, or maybe they remember something differently. However, 40 is a lot to refute. And at some point, maybe he didn't do anything criminal. He's just not a great person. And, not everybody has to be great. Everybody's not great, but he's in the public eye and working with people, and that's not going to completely bode well for him going forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a guy that had it all laid out in front of him. You know what I mean? Like, I understand from a career point of view, like, this is not great for Jonathan Majors. I mean, he knows in his mind the bag was there.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be every one of the Marvel movies moved before it. And that's the thing. Like, it's not great. You know what I mean? And you're right. I'm a firm believer of there's smoke, there's fire. If this is one incident, again, we're not saying just because it's one incident doesn't mean it was correct or right or one way or another. No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is this is not just a one incident thing. And everybody's like, well, why speak up now? This one person saying, hey, Jonathan Majors hurt me, the accusation of what he's going on trial for, this sparks something in somebody to say, hey, look, it's my turn to speak up. You know what I mean? It's not easy to speak up, people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like with anything. Sometimes
the Me Too movement. There's a lot of what she said. Nobody wants to speak up.
Sometimes you need permission, not permission from anybody, but permission that, like, oh, this person did it. Okay, now I can. Like, if you were, saw somebody, you're thirsty and you saw people standing by a lake and you're like, I want to go drink out of that lake, but I don't know if I can. Once you see somebody do it, you go, oh, maybe it's okay. That's kind of how that I feel like it works. It's like you don't know, maybe you don't have the strength of the time, but then eventually you're like, no, fuck that. It's my turn now.
What's the saying? There's strength in numbers.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There is.
Exactly.
When you feel comfortable saying something because one other person,
look at when you're in school, you don't want to raise your hand, but when others raise their hand, you go, oh,
no.
Yes. I did know. Maybe I did know.
Like, when you're at church, stand up.
We have do we have new members in the congregation? Nobody wants to stand up and be like me. And
three or four people over there stand up. You're okay with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it makes it easier. It does. But let's go ahead and switch up the mood here a little bit by talking about a little bit of a movie that we saw this week. All right, folks. I think as of tomorrow, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 can be seen in theaters. I think it's as of today. Apparently, Walmart had screenings at the AMC theater.
I saw that was going on.
That's random, but Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is hitting theaters this week. And Dom and I, like I said, we saw the screening earlier last week on Thursday. And we saw it on the big Dolby screen, which was actually pretty cool because there was several times where your seat was shaking. It was pretty fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty fucking cool. So that being said, Dom, what was your before we prefix, folks, 1,000% spoiler free. We will never ever talk in depth about spoilers unless it's a movie that's been out for a long period of time. You know what I mean, or anything like that. But Dom, give us your thoughts on Part 1 of Dead Reckoning.
As somebody who didn't like tout this franchise as like my favorite action franchise, this film makes me want to go back and rewatch all of them. It is all the hype that was surrounding it, all the hype that Tom Cruise was like, this is going to be the event of the summer. Has to be seen in theaters. He is 100% correct. I can validate that thought. I mean, the action, the intensity, the pace was is good. I love a movie that can kind of encompass a fear or something that's going on in today's society, and it does that incredibly well. I don't know how Tom Cruise is able to run so much. I want to know who runs more in films, him or Will Smith, because he is sprinting his ass off through this movie. I mean, and there's literally, I think after the movie, I was telling Ricky, I was like, this third act, I was clenching my butt cheeks the entire time because I don't know, like normally when I watch a film, when people go to the bathroom or get up, I see it. This movie, I didn't see anybody. I'm sitting here, I'm scooting up, even in a lean back seat. I'm sweating a little bit, and I'm like, okay, how we gonna get out of this? Cast is great. The new additions, I think Haley Atwell and who else was new? There was one other new person to the cast.
The bad guy, the bad guy. I really like him.
Yeah,
no, the bad guy was new. He wasn't new. Hang on, I knew you were talking about though.
But I mean, there's only a few things. There's like one thing that glared at me that was kind of like not a problem, but kind of like, maybe this is just like the plight of the action hero is they love women and they can go from women to women whenever they want to, and it's just like whatever. But other than that, I mean, it's fun. It's exciting. It's like an all out like adrenaline rush. Like especially like I said, that third act is like, holy shit. How would I survive that? And I probably wouldn't. I know for a fact I wouldn't.
So the thing about it is, okay, so obviously I love the film, right? It's fantastic. I couldn't give you my rankings right now if I tried. It's probably my top 2 or 3. My thing is this, okay, so obviously Tom Cruise, greatest living action star ever. I mean, period. I don't care what anybody says. There's not even a debate. Action star. I didn't say movie star. I didn't say movie actor. I didn't say actor. He might be one of the greatest actors of all time, like top 15, 10, whatever that looks like. But greatest action star to ever live. And you can tell me anybody, you can think of anybody you want. I'm going to tell you it's wrong, other than Tom Cruise. It's crazy to me, the stunt that you've seen all over social media, all over the internet, all over everywhere. That stunt, I've never seen a stunt written so well into the story.
Yeah.
That it mattered so much, right?
Yeah.
And the way that it comes to an end, like crash, like it was, like again, I'm not spoiling it, but when that moment happened, first off, that scared me more than 95% of horror movies did because it was such a loud bang that it's just like, holy shit. It was like a Hulk smash type of thing. But it was so greatly written. Like that story, like the way they wrote the stunt into the story. The thing, I think it was one of the better written films. I do think that the aspect that the first couple had that story driven, the last few kind of were more action driven with some story intertwined with it. The biggest thing that I have with it is you knew it was part 1. It felt like a part 1. So somebody had asked me what my grade is of the film, and I was like, I'm unsure. I think I'm at like a 4 because a 4 out of 5 because part 2 has to connect.
Yeah.
Because if part 2 doesn't work, then part 1 maybe not as good as we think it is because it is a 2-parter. It's promoted as a 2-parter. As its film on its own, 4 stars. First off, 4 stars is still pretty damn incredible. Let's calm down a little bit. You know, it's not 99% like it is on Rotten Tomatoes, but and also Haley Atwell. Holy cow, she's incredible.
Yeah.
She's great in this. 100%. That's one thing. That's another thing that I want to point out about Tom Cruise. This movie, Tom Cruise, top billing, top guy, we know that. The fact that he is willing to kind of step aside in a lot of this movie to let Haley Atwell steal the show. She steals the show from him and from everybody in the film. But to put an ego aside, to let that happen at 60 plus years old, knowing that you might not have a whole lot of hurrahs left in you, is impressive to me, because there's not a lot of stars that would allow or do something like that. Some other action stars, not to mention any names, my boy included, have issues. My boy included have issues. Have issues sometimes allowing the spotlight to be given to other people. Why I like Fast 10 so much is because he gave the spotlight to somebody else. But yeah, it felt like a part one. And that's the only thing. 2 hours, 45 minutes, wouldn't believe you. Didn't believe
Right.
Dom and I talk about this before the movie starts. We get there a little early because we have to, because with the check-in and stuff like that. Dom and I have 30, 45 minutes, maybe a day to talk before the movie starts. We always are talking about the runtime.
Yo.
I was already complaining about it. You know what I mean? Every movie I see that's like 2 hours 30, 2 hours 45 minutes, I'm always already having a paragraph written ready to be like, that was like Indiana Jones, 2 hours and 30 minutes. You could tell me that movie was 9 hours long. And I was This movie, 2 hours 45, it flew by. Incredible. Yeah. I loved it. And I will say this, completely different film. I understand that. But I'm saying pacing wise, Oppenheimer, you got a lot of competition when it comes to being a 3 hour movie and not feeling like one. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna be. I'm already nervous because 3 hours is a lot. But
yeah, if Tom Cruise can do this again with part 2, he's got to be Mr. Blockbuster. Like that's gonna be his title. Like
I've had this conversation. So to me personally, I think the greatest actor of all time is Denzel Washington. I think that he's the greatest actor ever, period. And because I think that his range supersedes just about everybody else. You've seen him as an action star. You've seen him as a historical figure. You've seen him as the dad. You've seen him as the grandpa. You've seen him out of all of these phases in his life. You've seen him with all of these things, and he's nailed every single one of these performances. You know what I mean? From the time he started acting till now, he's had one of the most storied careers ever. You know what I mean? And it's incredible. Like, you know, I think he's the greatest actor of all time, period.
For sure.
But action star, movie star, blockbuster, it's Tom Cruise. Yeah. And to me, it's not even close. Like, it's crazy. And it's hard to think that, like, he's probably the last great movie star. Like, and movie star, folks, you're talking box office appeal. You're talking about acting. You've got to have it all, because the movie star part of it is encompassing the blockbuster, the action, but then you got to be able to act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then
you got to have that charisma.
You got to have that charisma. You got to put people in the seats. You know what I mean? Like, people forget, like, newer generation might not understand how great of an actor Tom Cruise is. Study the early aspects of his life. Jerry Maguire is still one of my favorite performances of his ever. It's incredible. He should have won the Oscar for that. It's crazy to me. He doesn't have an Oscar. But maybe if they put stunts in the damn thing, that maybe he'd actually get one. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the only way. But it's incredible to me to watch him at 61 and somebody that loves film as passionately he does. This film cannot be enjoyed the same way in your living room as it can on the big screen.
I mean, there's one shot in the airport.
Quick, Mount Rushmore of blockbuster draws. Oh man! All right, blockbuster draws.
I mean, you have to do Tom. You have to do Will. Vin Diesel. I mean, he's got to be up there. I mean, I don't know if you consider Vin Diesel or the franchise of Fast itself. But that's everybody wants to go see those.
So let's see here. Blockbuster draws. Early on, mid-tier, like Tom Hanks has to be in the conversation, I feel like. Maybe not as much anymore, but like we're talking over a body of a long period of time, right?
That's true.
So
that's true.
You have Cruise, you have Hanks, I think. Will, I think I agree with you with Will. Will Smith has always been a draw.
And it might have to be. I mean, Denzel, if he's in it, we're all there.
So right? Yeah. Nowadays, I mean, Denzel, I definitely agree. I'm kind of going through some names here
I
that
know.
I'm looking at. I'm not really seeing anybody. I don't think Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, maybe of his time. The thing about so if we're talking about other times, Stallone belongs in the conversation.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger belongs in the conversation because of their time, they were blockbuster draws. You know what I mean? If we're going, let me just go. I'll just go to Spitfire. Nobody yell at me for this. Mount Rushmore of blockbuster draws. I'm going Tom Cruise. I'm gonna go Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm gonna go Sly Stallone. I'm gonna surprise probably some people with this one. I'm gonna go Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Oh yeah.
And then for my fifth, I'm gonna go Will Smith. I'm not gonna go Denzel. I almost went Denzel, but I'm gonna go Will Smith. That's gonna be my five. There's five people in Mount Rushmore, right? Is it four in Rushmore? I don't even remember.
I couldn't tell you. It's four. It's one of the two. Even though it's weird though, the Dwayne Johnson train is kind of slowing down.
It has, but I think with that he had a run.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, if you take a 10-year gap, you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at his box office right now. So his box office is 14th all time domestically. It's 3.3. Hang on, what is that? $3.6 billion domestic. That's not worldwide. This is just domestically. That's like 14th all time. Now, I don't really count this for a lot of different people because, like, Scarlett Johansson's on this list. Well, of course. I mean, she's on this list because of Avengers Endgame. Those made $3 billion. Robert Downey Jr., same way. I don't consider Robert Downey Jr. a blockbuster draw. I don't believe that.
No.
So it's got to be. I think it's got to be one of those. Those got to be my five. Man, I don't know, man. Eddie Murphy had a run too in the 90s. But
I forgot who played the game. I'm sure you could YouTube it, but they played this game of movie star or actor, and some people are both, but there is like the days of the movie star are back. That's where you see a lot of the same people, like Margot Robbie, do 4 or 5 films a year because she's a draw.
But is she?
I mean, look, we had this conversation before with somebody else. I love Margot Robbie, but it's for some reason her movies don't always do well, and I don't know why that is. I like what she's in. I'm a little biased because I have she's like it's Margot Robbie, but
so there's one that I'm shy on, one that and I kind of feel DiCaprio, but I'm looking at his box office, right? His box office is it's higher than I thought it was. So I kind of want to. Man, I don't know. That's a hard question. It is right off the top of your head. And maybe DiCaprio is there too. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Revenant made money. Wolf of Wall Street was a banger. Money. I'm talking about blockbuster wise. We're talking about you got to make money. You know what I mean? People show up to DiCaprio. They do for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely an interesting conversation because you're. I mean, but I mean, I feel like you have a 5 to 7 range. If you give me like a 10 years, if you tell me 10 years, I'm telling you, Stallone's got to be in the conversation. Schwarzenegger, those are two brought people into seats for a long, 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 long time. I feel like you can't. It's hard to put people that are in like Star Wars movies and because their box office draw are they really box office draws outside of those vehicles? All right. So what is your worst movie of the year? Don, what's your worst movie of the year so far?
I feel like I have my worst movie. One of them to me has got to be and I say worse because of who made it, because it kind of was a letdown for me, and that's Elemental. It didn't have the Pixar appeal that I thought I was going to have. I had another one. I just can't remember what it was.
I'm looking through my list right now. If we're talking about overrated, I mean, there's quite a few of them that everybody.
Oh, Indiana Jones probably because. It just sorry.
That's bad. Sorry. Murder Mystery 2. No, it wasn't terrible. Super Mario Brothers is highly overrated. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Talking about the worst movies of the year. I've seen man. I'm looking through my list and I see a lot of bad movies, but no, I'm trying to think of the worst. I'd probably. Oh man, Teen Wolf the movie that was terrible. I never
I
saw
didn't
Teen
see
Wolf though, so
that.
I'll tell you what. One movie that's being overhyped right now, and I just want to bring it up real quick, is that reality movie with Sydney Sweeney.
I
That
started
was on
watching it
Max. It's
and I
not
haven't
good.
watched it
And
yet.
I'm gonna say this, and this is a hot take, I think, to people, but I don't think she can act. So I just don't think it is. I'm sorry. I know why people like to watch Sydney Sweeney. I get it,
Yeah.
I understand it, but I don't. I don't see. Well, as we said, there's movie stars, and then there's people that movie stars that act. She might be. I don't even think that she's a movie star, but whatever. You know what I'm saying by that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that said, we loved Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. So man.
Yeah, it's definitely worth
I think it was
spending
Sony.
your money.
Sony then threw me for a loop with the Mount Rushmore blockbuster draws. I'm gonna regret my name. Like that just threw me for a loop right off the top of my head. So yeah. But yes, definitely worth your money. Go see on the biggest format. I can't recommend it. I actually want to see it again. I do. I want to see it again.
Sure.
I've got to fit it in some point over the next week before our crazy week the following week. So I still need to see Joyride. Oh my god, I haven't seen it yet. I'm so angry I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I know. I'm supposed to see it like 3 different times and like things have popped up. So I'll see it some point, I think, this week. I still want to see The Conjuring too. I didn't see that either.
Yeah.
Is it The Conjuring? Conjuring, right?
You're talking
Conjuring. It's not The Conjuring. What is it called? Insidious.
Insidious.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I've heard. The same, dude.
I've heard that it's not great, but
yeah. I'll wait till it hits the box. You know what I'm saying? I'll wait till it hits the box. You know what I'm saying? I will wait. All right. Let's do some watch recommendations.
All right. Our watch recommendations for things that you might not have seen that we're watching, and we're gonna let you know what's popping out here. Ricky, you can go first.
All right, so I do want to say this is pretty funny. Your Place or Mine, worst movie I've seen this year. I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for cheesy, terrible chick flick movies, so I enjoy it. I also love Ashton Kutcher. Speaking of which, please make it do Where's My Car too. I watch it. As far as movies go, I'm going to talk about The Outlaws. Netflix movie just dropped. It's about a straight-laced bank manager is about to marry the love of his life when his bank is held up by infamous ghost bandits during his wedding week. He believes in his future in-laws who just arrived in town are the famous outlaws. The film star Pierce Brosnan, Adam Devine, Nina Dobrev, and Ellen Barkin. It is perfect for what it is. It's a Netflix movie. It's a streaming movie. It made me laugh. It's not great. It's not perfect. It's not the greatest thing you'll ever see in your entire existence. But what I will say is I had fun with it. And that's all I need from a Netflix movie on a Friday night. And it's not a big blockbuster, millions of dollars made. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Highly recommend checking it out. Don't think that it's going to be the greatest movie you ever watched, but I liked what I saw from it. Whole lot of fun. On the TV, this is easy. On the TV side of things, The Lincoln Lawyer. Season 2, part 1 dropped on Netflix this week, last Thursday. Really enjoy that show. I am a huge, huge fan of the show. They're dropping it in 2 parts. Part 1 dropped Thursday, and I think that part 2 drops like August the 3rd. It does. Manuel Garcia Rufo is fantastic as Mickey Haller. Don't trick me into watching. Dude, I'm telling you. Look, I promise you. Look. I'm telling you. I know Adam Devine. Okay, so I was looking at Adam Devine. Okay, so this is going to send me down a bad path here. So I was looking at Adam Devine's movies, and I'm like, dude, this guy is in so many bad movies. But look, he's great in Righteous Gemstones. One of the best shows on TV. It's hilarious. It's funny. But then, you look at some other things that he's like, Jexy. Oh my God, was that bad? Game Over, man. So bad. There's been some bad things that Adam Devine's been, but this is fun. And Pierce Brosnan's in it. He's pretty fucking cool. But Lincoln Lawyer Season 2, Volume 1 on Netflix now. Highly recommend it. If you haven't seen Season 1, watch it, binge it fast, get to part 2 relatively fast. I loved it. Dom, what you got for movie, TV? What do you got over there this week?
All right, so for my my movie, I also have a streaming movie. I have Call Her King. Watched it this week. It's your gritty, unapologetic action film. It's kind of, I really don't know what you want to compare it to. It's got a little bit of aspects of like all your favorite action films kind of mixed into one. It's got Notori Naughton, Lance Gross, Jason Mitchell. It's on BT Plus. It's a quick little watch. The story is pretty cool, and there's a twist that I didn't see coming. Like I know a lot of people always like, nah, I saw it coming. No, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Okay, if you're really into the movie, you didn't see it coming. Okay, and then when it comes to my television, look, this show has been getting a lot of hate. I think either it just wrapped up its finale or is about to wrap up, lead into its finale. But it's The Crowded Room on Apple
Oh, yeah.
TV, Apple TV Plus.
It's not what I thought you were going to say, but okay.
No,
All right, we're
no,
good.
no,
I thought you were going to say The Idol, and I was
no,
about to
no,
quit the
no,
podcast. Okay,
no. The
whew, we're
Crowded
back.
Room is got Amanda Seyfried, Tom Holland, Amy Rossum. It is a good show, man. Like, yeah, are some parts of it predictable? Yeah, but it's about how they get there. Because the story is based on a true story. They change kind of the how it plays out, and so you kind of know what the outcome's going to be, but it's how they get there and how this character comes to terms with how his brain works and what is going on in his life, and how the rest of the world has to come to terms with, oh, this is a real thing. So I think it's very underrated. People think it's like one of the very few misses that Apple has. I don't think it's a miss. It might not be the greatest they have, but I think we get to see Tom. He tried with Cherry and tried to do the dramatic thing. It didn't quite work, but I think it does in this show. I think you get to see him unhinged. You get to see him as very, very different people in multiple episodes. And then Amanda Seyfried and Emmy Rossum. I mean, I don't think they've ever done any kind of bad acting that I can recall in recent years. So I do think it's worth a watch. And now that it's about to end, you can go ahead and binge it all. But yeah, just give it a shot. Come back and let me know if it was fire or not, because I promise you, all the hate it was getting is not warranted.
I might have to watch it now. I might have to watch it now.
Yeah, man. Look, there's one big question in the show: who's Adam? And you kind of know, but when you find out the answer, you're like, oh, like I kind of knew, like the fact now that I know, fuck, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, it's definitely worth a watch.
All right, folks. Last week we introduced a new segment to the show where we are going to randomly rank certain things, specific things, whatever kind of pops up off Dom and I think. Dom came up with the idea of the old burgers last week, and I was like, what better way to flip this than do the top 5 fast food chicken sandwiches? Now, when I said this at the top of the show, if you're just joining us now, I said at the top of the show, I took this very seriously. I almost take it to the point seriously where I spent more time on my chicken sandwich list. Chicken fingers, that's a different topic for a different day. That's a different ranking. Chicken sandwiches. I spent quite a time investigating what show or what places that I like to get chicken sandwiches from, which ones I've had them from. There was some on the list that I wasn't sure. There were some that aren't sold anymore that I'm like, man, that would have made my list. Speaking of which, the chicken parm from Burger King, when they had that bad boy, was a chef's kiss, right? For some reason, we talked about this last with the burger. Burger King gets rid of everything that I love. No wonder I don't go to Burger King. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, let's bring the Blue Beetle burger. We'll make a blue burger. Nobody wants that. I just want my chicken parm back. But, Dom, you said you're ready to ruffle some feathers. I'm ready to hear your 5, 4, and 3 of your top 5 fast food chicken sandwiches. Hit me with it.
All right. So what I did with mine is I felt like to myself parts of it would be unfair. So what I did is
Go ahead, give us some spotlight.
I did
There we
all
go.
my sandwiches as spicy chicken sandwiches. So my 5 is KFC spicy chicken sandwich. Number 4 is Zaxby spicy chicken sandwich, and my number 3 is the Wingstop mild chicken sandwich.
Look at that. Wingstop better be on here. Well, there you go. It's number 3. First off, I want to point out by saying that I had no clue, absolutely no clue, that Wingstop had chicken sandwiches.
Fire.
So there you go ahead.
Fire.
I want to say that.
Multiple flavors. I think they got like 6 or something like that.
I'm gonna have to try it now. I'm gonna add this to my list now, just because I have to. Because all right, so I'm coming to number 5. First off, I like that you threw the curveball in there for the spicy sandwiches, because I feel like that's unfair. But I'm gonna allow it. But coming in number 5 is Popeye's chicken sandwich. I'm not a big fan. 5 is Popeye's, 4 is KFC. I don't like KFC. Popeyes has good sides. Popeyes has fries. Their mac and cheese is pretty on point. And then, of course, you end it with the little biscuit. The biscuit's the icing on the cake. But KFC, I don't really like KFC. I like KFC's wedges. Exactly. See, sober. I literally like this. I'm kind of pissed because I've never had a Wingstop chicken sandwich. Like, I kind of want to just group on it here. Grubhub. There it is. I called it Groupon earlier too. I don't know what the hell I said.
Hey, Wingstop's open till midnight, so you know what I'm saying.
And then coming in at number 3 is a place that I don't know if you've had their chicken sandwiches yet. Slim Chicken's chicken sandwiches.
I forgot about that place.
They are delicious. Now, yeah. I could go a couple different ways with it. I'm just going to go with the basic one. They've got a good spicy. No, I'm going to go with the Cayenne. I call it Kanye Ranch chicken sandwich that they have. It is fire. Slim Chickens, I don't know if you have them. Whoever's listening out there in the real world, I don't know if you have them out where you're at. Slim Chickens is a banger.
Yeah, where I used to live, they had one, and I used to go there all the time. And the whole menu is great.
Banger after, like, their whole entire menu. They have a new Nashville hot chicken sandwich that I want to really try really bad. Nashville hot can be really hot though. Fucks with me. Like, so that's my thing. I have to enjoy it. It can't just be hot. Like, you just can't make my mouth. Like,
you gotta have that hot brown sugar and the cayenne in there.
Exactly.
Balance it out.
So, all right. So, give me your 2 and 1.
All right. My number 2 is Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich, and my number 1 is Popeye spicy. I know people are like, where's the Chick-fil-A? And it's funny you said Slim Chickens. That I feel like the texture of their chicken is very similar, where it's a little more of a softer breading. And I normally like a crunch, which is why Chick-fil-A is not on there. I mean, I really don't eat Chick-fil-A in general, but that's the reason why they're not on there. But when it comes to that softer texture, I do prefer Slim Chickens. But Wendy's spicy, Popeye spicy, and Chick-fil-A can, go touch grass, Sorry.
Man. Well, my number 2 is the Bojangles chicken sandwich. Another top tier.
I have that on my list.
So I struggle with this one as well. Bojangles, I love it. I'll lie and say to you that I'm more of a fan of their Bojangles chicken biscuits. They are, but the same chicken.
Oh yeah.
My number 1 is the Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich, damn it. Okay, but let me raise the stake of what you should do when you order a Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich. You get the spicy chicken sandwich. You get the mac and cheese, right? You put some mac and cheese on the spicy chicken sandwich, right? You get a little buffalo sauce. You pour the buffalo sauce and a little bit of ranch, and you eat it. But there is nothing better than the spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, their fries, milkshakes, the lemonade, the whole nine. Speaking of which, you can get the frozen lemonade with strawberry syrup now. Chunks of strawberry syrup in the frozen lemonade. Top notch. Highly recommend it. But I'm gonna forgive you for not having Chick-fil-A. But you know what I mean. I'm a little frustrated. But for those at home, I'm going to post this on social media and let them yell at you for this potentially,
Hey,
or
I
yell at
welcome
me,
it.
one or the other. But give me your 5 through 1 more time.
All right, at number 5, KFC spicy. Number 4, Zaxby spicy. Number 3, Wingstop mild. Number 2, Wendy's spicy, and then number 1, Popeye spicy chicken sandwich.
Coming in number 5 for me is Popeyes chicken sandwich. Number 4, KFC's chicken sandwich. Number 3, Slim Chicken's chicken sandwich. Number 2, Bojangles chicken sandwich, and then of course number 1, the spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. For anybody that is watching this show now, or comment on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Red Sky, Orange Sky, OnlyFans, Patreon, whatever you want to comment on. You know, we've got it all out there. Comment if you guys want us to do a random ranking of any sort, because we have a lot. I'm telling you, I spent more time trying to figure that out this week than I did anything else on the show. So it's a lot of fun. Next week should be a lot of fun. I have no clue what in the heck we're going to talk about yet, because we just talked about the movie that is coming out in theaters next week. I'm sure we'll find something, because that's what we do here. But maybe we'll do like top 5 worst movies of 2023 next week. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that, or maybe we'll talk about top 5 movie theater snacks. I don't know. But that being said, follow Dom on Twitter. His link is in the bio. Mine's in the bio too. You guys know where to find us because you're watching, so that's why you know where to find us.
And now you can use Threads now.
Right.
I posted some weird shit today. I don't talk a lot, but in person and on these shows. But I posted a good one. I want to know what it means. Okay, so I'm gonna go look at the Dom Fisher on Threads, because I had a dream about a cheesecake eating contest, but the cheesecake was shaped like Tom Segura's face. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means, but it was delicious in my dream. And I've been having a lot of lucid dreams lately. So I ate his nose and his eyeballs. I don't know. It was weird. And then I watched the special, and the special was great. So.
Oh my God, the special's hilarious. The special's hilarious. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even.
I don't either. I woke up confused, hungry, and then wanted to laugh. So, that's what I did.